With Dan Blocker, and of course you know him as Haas on Bonanza, and he's a Texas boy. When's the last time you were in Texas, Dan?
Oh, I was in Dallas about a month ago.
Oh, that recently?
Yeah, my mother lives down in DeKalb, and I get down every opportunity I get to see her, and I was down. My family just got back from Europe, and we all kind of congregated at my mother's house.
Now you're going into your 13th year on Bonanza. It's just the most marvelous, incredible run, but I wonder, are you a little superstitious about that 13th year?
No, hon, I have been superstitious about the first year, and the second, the third, and the fourth, and so on. I didn't dream that the thing would go beyond the first year, and I had pretty much the same feeling every year since. So the 13th year has no particular significance other than it's just another year.
Do you care to make any predictions, Dan? How long? Is this just going to be ad infinitum on Bonanza?
Well, I think that it could be. I think that it'll eventually become an economic burden for the network and the sponsors to such an extent that they will probably drop it. I foresee the show lasting another couple of years. But you see, when we're working in film, we get so much film backlogged that it becomes unfeasible for the network to continue to pay out monies making new produce when they have 13 years of produce in reserve that the public has only seen 1/3 of. So it just doesn't make sense economically to continue the thing. I should imagine that by the 15th year it will have run its course.
One of the things that I know about you, Dan, it's new to you since we last talked, and that is that you have now a home in Switzerland.
Well, we leased a house there for 2 years so the kids could go to school there without having to board. We didn't want them to, they didn't want to board, and we didn't want them to. We wanted them to have that experience, that cultural experience, and the only way we could do that without sending them over there in a boarding school was to lease a house, which we did.
Dan, if I could change the subject now, I'd like to ask you your reaction to Nixon's proposed visit to Peking.
Well, I have long been, even when Mr. Nixon was in the early stages of his political career advocating complete non-recognition of China, I was in advocating recognition of China. I think we spent a great numbers of billions of dollars and lives trying to ignore 700 million people. That just doesn't make sense in this day and time. I think that Mr. Nixon had no alternative but to seek some kind of political communication with that large numbers of human beings in Asia. Asia has, since 4000 BC, has been a cultural root to all of human endeavor, and to ignore it now is just plain folly, and has been since since the days of McCarthy and early Nixon.
Dan,
sorry about that. My ire gets up.
No, I wouldn't. I didn't know what you were going to say, but I did want your reaction to it, because I think it's something that people are discussing.
Well, I think it's the best thing that's happened
today
to this country in years. I think it may save us. It just could very well generate and create the marketplace in Europe or in Asia that we can trade those people up to the same extent that we did the Central and Southeastern Europeans and Southwestern Europeans, to a point where they're no longer a threat. You see, when people have something to lose, they're not quite so rapidly are rapid to get themselves involved in what might be a holocaust that would destroy them. When they have nothing to lose, then of course they're wont to act prejudiciously, and they're wont to act without any regard for other people or themselves. The people of China are certainly to be dealt with, and we can trade them up. We have the industrial and the business know-how to trade into that culture and that society a desire for something other than the kind of life they have now. When they have refrigerators, or the possibility of refrigerators, and when they have the possibilities of having an abundance of food then they're going to be a little hesitant about starting any kind of a war that might end up in their total destruction or ours.
Dan, it's always great to talk with you, and I'm going to let you get out of this hot sun.
Fine.
Thanks so
It's been
much.
a pleasure, Bobby.